You crouch beside a bird's nest, and the strange truth is that humans have probably been eating other animals' eggs for far longer than we have been eating chicken eggs. It was not cruelty, ignorance, or some bizarre prehistoric taboo. It was survival. A hungry stomach, a defensive parent bird, a nest exposed in the open. For early humans, an egg was not breakfast. It was a small, seasonal prize that could disappear overnight, and hunger was not uncomfortable. Hunger was a death machine. By the end of this video, you will understand why people actually do eat many kinds of animal eggs, why chicken eggs became the global default, and why most wild eggs stayed rare, risky, or impossible to collect. The common assumption is backwards. Humans did not ignore other eggs because they were disgusting. Most of the time, the eggs ignored humans first, hidden by distance, danger, season, and the simple problem of getting enough of them. Picture a prehistoric shoreline at dawn. Cold wind comes off the water, gulls scream overhead, and somewhere beyond the rocks, a nesting bird has left behind a fragile package of fat, protein, and water. An ostrich egg alone can hold roughly 2,000 calories, but finding one was never the same as owning a dependable food supply. In the Stone Age, every meal had to earn its place. Researchers discovered that ostrich eggshell appears at archaeological sites across Africa and Eurasia, sometimes in deposits more than 1 million years old. At first, it is tempting to think every broken shell proves someone ate the egg. Then researchers realized shells can be broken by hatching chicks, predators, trampling, weather, or later human use. That is why archaeologists study burn patterns, breakage, location, and the wider context, rather than treating every fragment as a prehistoric omelet. At Yujiagu in northern China, researchers examined ostrich eggshell for evidence including heating and hatching patterns, while also acknowledging that preservation limits what can be concluded about consumption. The ancient egg is evidence, but it is also a puzzle, and the puzzle gets harder when the food can walk away before you arrive. Researchers also found that eggshell was valuable even after its contents were gone. At first, people imagined a shell as trash. Then they realized that a hard, light, waterproof shell could become a container, a bead, or a material carrying social meaning. At Deep Kloof Rock Shelter in South Africa, engraved ostrich eggshell containers date to around 60,000 years ago, showing that people modified and curated shells in daily hunter-gatherer life. A single egg could provide food now, then a portable vessel later. That is an extraordinary return from one risky discovery. But the shell's second life reveals something even bigger. Ancient people were not simply taking whatever nature offered. They were planning ahead. Researchers studying ancient eggshell in Australia found another twist. At first, large Pleistocene. Eggshell fragments were often connected to the extinct giant bird Xeniornis newtoni. Then protein analysis indicated that the eggshell associated with indigenous exploitation belonged instead to a large extinct bird in the genus Progura. Related to megapodes, the finding did not erase the story of egg collecting. It made the story more honest. Ancient eggs can preserve clues, but identifying the bird, the collector, and the exact meal requires careful science. Researchers still debate how much egg harvesting contributed to changes in ancient animal populations, and they should. A missing species is never explained by one dramatic guess alone, but when a large egg was available, humans clearly understood its value. Now comes the reason the question feels so strange today. Researchers documenting modern poultry production show that we never stopped eating other animal eggs. At first, it can seem like egg means chicken egg, because that is what fills supermarket cartons. Then they realize the supermarket is telling a story about farming efficiency, not a rule of human appetite. People eat duck, goose, quail, turkey, ostrich, and fish eggs in different places and food traditions. But chickens dominate because they are widely raised, relatively small, productive, manageable, and built into enormous supply systems. In 2024, hen eggs made up about 94% of world egg production. The chicken did not win because every other egg was forbidden. The chicken won because reliability beats adventure when billions of meals are needed. Imagine climbing toward a nest while an adult bird circles above you. Imagine finding only an empty shell because the chick's already hatched. Imagine carrying a fragile egg back across miles of rough ground with no carton, no refrigerator, and no guarantee it will still be safe. Would you gamble your family's energy on that every day? That is why wild eggs were usually a bonus, not the foundation of survival. And even today, an egg is not automatically safe because it looks clean. USDA guidance notes that raw shell eggs can contain salmonella, and cooking and handling matter. For prehistoric people, fire may have reduced some risks, but it did not create modern refrigeration, inspection, or a year-round supply chain. The real revolution was not discovering eggs. It was building relationships with animals, places, seasons, tools, and eventually domesticated birds. Then came cooperation, a person watching for predators, another carrying food, someone keeping a fire alive, and others sharing knowledge could turn a lucky find into a safer meal. Cooperation was humanity's greatest weapon. Your brain still notices a cheap, dependable carton more quickly than an unfamiliar wild nest. Your body still remembers the ancient math. Calories gained, danger avoided, energy saved. We cannot know every detail of what happened at every prehistoric nest, but the science underneath is solid. Honestly, I think this is what makes the story so human. We did eat other animals' eggs, but before us, every egg asked the same question. Is this meal worth the risk?